We Strangers is a 2024 American drama written and directed by Anu Valia in her film directorial debut. It stars Kirby Howell-Baptiste, Tina Leifert, Sarah Goldberg, Maria Dizia, Karen Young, Harry Dillon, Paul Adelstein, and Misha Reddy. An addictive and haunting study of race, class, and assimilation centering around Ray, a charming and self-determined woman living in Gary, Indiana. This study of race, class, and assimilation was Vincent's selection for our celebration of Black horror tonight. Vincent, what say you of We Strangers?
Well, obviously, I apologize for not following the theme of the month.
You missed the assignment.
I did not know anything about. I very loosely knew the plot about this character who pretended to be a medium. And in my defense, when you look at the trailer, it looks like there will be a level of menace.
Yes, it does.
To it.
It does.
So I thought there would be, and there isn't. That is an observation. I will comment on that observation in a moment. But as you mentioned, the plot of this film, where Kirby Howell-Baptiste plays a domestic named Ray, or I don't even think she's. I think she works for a cleaning company, and then kind of becomes a domestic,
right?
Working for an Indian doctor and his white wife, and then eventually working for another white family in the same neighborhood. In the midst of her working for these two families, she pretends to be a medium.
Yes.
And the plot, as it were, unfolds from there. But as you said, this is a film that ultimately is less interested in plot as it is an examination of race and class. In this case, the dynamic between the Black domestic and the white family, even if in this case, half of one of the white households is Indian. In that case, it defaults to class. And in that regard, it enters part of a conversation that we've had on and off throughout our time here, and certainly a conversation that if you're interested in race and class in film is sort of ongoing. This trope of the all-knowing Black domestic, who is this font of earthy wisdom, who is there to dispense advice.
The magical Negro.
A magical Negro, literally a magical Negro in this case. And in a lot of ways, Anu Valia is interested in subverting that. Anu Valia is interested in subverting that, where Kirby Howell-Baptiste's Ray knows that these families, and in particular the two women of the household,
the matriarchs,
Tracy and Jean, subscribe to this stereotype. And Ray looks to exploit it. There is never a moment in this film where Ray has any belief in her any kind of otherworldly powers. There is never a moment in this film where the film grants Ray any otherworldly power. Like, it's never any wiggle room. It's never a twist. Like, this very much is Ray is keenly aware that these white women thinks that she might have magical powers because she's Black.
Right.
And she is exploiting this. And just as an idea, there is a bite there. Like, if that's the foundation, I think there are these moments throughout the film, whether it is the moment where one of the women of the household, Tracy, tries to connect with Ray. And you can see in Tracy's head, Ray is going to be her black best friend. Mm-hmm. And Ray resists it.
Yep.
There's a moment where Tracy's daughter,
oh boy,
played by Micheaux Mission, you can see that she wants to have Ray as this almost mammy, mentor-y figure. We were just talking about Give Me a Break a few weeks ago. And Ray resists that. And then the foundation of this is of course, the final woman, Jean, played by Maria Desiree, and who is sort of this loopy housewife who honestly believes that Ray has magical powers. Mm-hmm. And there's a much sharper version of this story that would have been amazing. On the other end, talking about subverting this show, and again, look, we've been on for years, whether you're talking about the Help episode, whether you're talking about Driving Miss Daisy, we always talk about the fact that we have these black characters in these films, and it's like the films don't grant them a life outside of their job. This film explores the lives. And these are the moments, surprise, surprise, that sing the most, because you have Kirby Howell-Baptiste, you have the great Cara Young, and you have Tina Lifford, who I know from Queen Sugar.
Yeah.
And you have these three wonderful actresses in this space allowed to bounce off of each other. And you see the effects that Ray's job is having on her personal life, her real life with these women. But again, at a film that comes in at 1 hour and 20 minutes, there is a sharper version of this film that deals with that. And then finally, for everything that Ray does where she's trying to exploit these stereotypes, trying to subvert it, the film lets you know you can't hack the system. Like, eventually racism falls into its place. So at one point, Ray thinks that she can escape her social strata through romance with one of these characters, and this is a dead end.
Yeah.
And then it lands with that tried and true sort of move that you get. There's now some missing jewelry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that the film, of course, ends up telling her that, there's no place like home. But once again, say it with me, there's a sharper version of this film.
Exactly.
That underlines it more. On a technical level, I really enjoyed a lot of the cinematography, and you see that we've seen the cinematographer before, and the name's not in front of me, but I know they were the cinematographer for another film that we thought had great potential, but it looked fantastic, Master. The framing of some of these shots are absolutely gorgeous. I thought the costumer did a great job conveying information through through the clothes that all these characters like there was this wonderful unity of clothing and background again and again throughout this film that it was very intentional and was very effective, just again visually. Maria Desiree, who plays one of the white women, Jean, is fantastic.
Yes,
I thought she was absolutely fantastic. Sarah Goldberg, who played the the other white employer I thought was also very good and kind of captured the sort of passiveness that we talk about when we, kind of this polite racism. I thought she captured it really well. Not nearly enough Kara Young.
Ooh.
But the Kara Young you get is like water to a thirsty man.
Yep.
Like Kara Young is everything.
Yeah.
Again, I've always enjoyed Tina Lifford just from Queen Sugar, and it was nice seeing her.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice seeing her, and again, the moments they're all together were, and look, you already know, this is no mystery what brought me to this. Like, it's no mystery whatsoever. Kirby Howell-Baptiste is absolutely everything as far as I'm concerned. I remember meeting her on The Good Place.
Okay.
Which, speaking of stereotype, she very much was an example of what a lot of black pop culture critics call the disposable black girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you had these two characters, and then it was interesting because you had the male character was black, and Endgame was Kristen Bell's character, and not to get too much into The Good Place because it's a great television show. They set up that they have to complicate getting these two together, and Kirby Howell-Baptiste comes in as the girlfriend to kind of not have them together. And you can almost see from the writing of the show, she was so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was actually no narrative reason that Chidi, that was the character's name, would have chosen anyone over her. So then they kind of shoehorned something in there. And since then I've watched her. I was an early Neil Gaiman critic. Like, it's cool to not talk about Neil Gaiman now, but I very early on was like, Sandman.
Yeah, you are.
But I very much watched Sandman because she played Death.
Yeah.
And I think she is the one actual great thing about this film. I think there is a mischief to this character that is absolutely wonderful. I think the fact that she is hyper aware of what's happening and tries to work it, I think is fantastic. I think she has a subtle hand with comedy. Like, it's not really funny, but there are moments where I think you see humor. When it's time for her to be sexy, absolutely nails it. But, again, I really do think this film could have used another draft, maybe two more, to make it tighter.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I also think that another draft or two might have locked in on exactly what tone Valia wanted, because you said, like you mentioned, there are some hints of comedy in here, almost like like a dark comedy to it, and I think that Kirby Howell-Baptiste's character is definitely in that pocket, and I think that's the reason why she kind of like underplays a lot of the role, because not knowing, okay, what is this scene going for, especially her scenes, like you mentioned, her scenes with making sure I get the right one, Maria Dezia as Jean, who's like a lot more quirky, right? And I think her character from the beginning when she first shows up, because she shows up like damn near at the top of the film along with Kirby, is played to be a little bit off kilter. Was played for some hints of comedy in there, and I think those scenes with those two work very well, as opposed to everyone else who I think are tonally in another movie, and because of that, Kirby's performance, I don't think 100% jibes with them. I think the idea of what Valia wants to get across in the story and this commentary that she wants to make, like you said, on class and race, I think it's there. The thoughts are there, especially in, how she will be cleaning but ear hustling for what is going on in the house.
Right.
And using that as the ammunition for these readings that she's giving.
Right.
And she actually says, I'm not lying. I'm just telling people what they want to hear, which is all she's doing. And she's spot on with it because she's listening. God knows nobody in there is listening to one another.
Right.
Indicative of these households. But I think that that's why some of those scenes don't really 100% hit with me. I think a return to the comedy with bite that this movie could have had is when you get to there's a house party that is thrown.
Yeah.
And that one where the Ray character is basically a fly on the wall, listening to all of the pretentiousness of these white people and how they all want her to be their best black friend.
Yeah.
Showing how progressive they are. It's like, oh my God, do you see death around me?
And I was promised a black best friend.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if the entire movie is in that pocket, now you're saying something. Now that commentary has a little bit more bite and you're feeling it. But I think it let goes of the reins a little bit. I think there is a incomplete loop with the Ray character and the daughter.
I agree.
I think that loop, you're wanting for that to be tied off at the end. And she gives a kind of what she think is a capper to it with the whole juggling of eggs, but for me it just didn't land. And I think there's moments in this movie where you get this still shot of this mountain range, but one, the mountain range turns out to be apparently a volcano.
Right.
And then two, that's supposed to be allusions to some historic story.
Right.
But it doesn't go anywhere.
The metaphor
doesn't land.
Never actually links.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And I get what she's going for, but it just doesn't go there.
You have this recurring story that she tells about this prisoner that ends up being freed because of the volcano.
Yeah.
You have this image, as you said, of the mountain. But this is what I'm talking about, it being sharper. And there's always a possibility maybe we're just not smart enough to get it. But I think we're pretty we're attentive movie watchers.
Yeah. I see Sally Kirkland.
I think the metaphor was too oblique. And as you say, it's not to the final moments that you realize that this mountain you've been looking at the whole time was a volcano.
Right.
Like you can't have these two images that aren't, here's that word again, sharp. Like either have it be the volcano the whole time, or you need to be more clear about what is the link with this story.
Yeah.
With Ray's situation.
And the link doesn't even have to be anything verbal in the script. it could be as simple of I think of how amazing that I didn't get it probably the first 3 times that I saw it in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, of how much like the whole mountain where the aliens are, how much of that is seeded throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And not just like, yes, he does build one, but it actually is there just in little bits in pictures and mashed potatoes.
The images.
Yeah, the images, it's there. Something as simple as that could have been in there. Instead, we keep seeing things going down the drain, which I guess maybe is a connective tissue, but it doesn't.
Well, to your point about the tone, initially I thought these images of liquids going down the drain and even the way initially the households are set up. Like I thought initially for a moment, the film did a good job of showing how alien a new house is.
Yes.
Like I think for all of us, like the first time you go into a new house, and certainly when you go outside of the public space, like how you go to people's houses, you're in the living room, you're in the dining room, maybe if it's black people, we all convene in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But you know how it feels to go into people's basement for the first time, or to go upstairs in someone's house, and there is that moment of alienness.
Yeah.
And certainly with the power dynamic of your working there. And then in the case with Ray, which I thought was really smart, the first 2 times she's in this alien space, she's with the men in the house. So you understand how she is almost in fight mode. Like, I don't know what I'm stepping into.
Right.
But that doesn't carry throughout the film.
Not at all.
And you just don't get a through line. So once again, I like that. And like the first time I saw the image of the liquids going down, it's like, oh, so they're catching, they're trying to capture the unease of the ordinary. But then it doesn't gel.
Yeah.
It doesn't gel. And to your point about the party, even this notion where she is exploiting their racism. Like, you think I'm a magical Negro. Well, hell, I'll be the magical Negro for $100. You gotta.
That's right.
You make sure you cash at me my $100.
That's right.
But even that, where you think it's going to escalate, as you mentioned, like she's at the bar. Like, quite honestly, I thought the film was going to land where she basically had started a cult.
Yeah. Like amongst all
right.
these, yes,
right? Like
absolutely.
This notion of like you said, her ear hustling, and she's not even really ear hustling. Here you go. Here's something else that we talked about years ago that kind of uses this and does a bit like Brother from Another Planet, where you realize that all these people who are in the in these service fields, janitors and doormen and stuff, but they are effectively invisible.
Right.
Like, we don't pay attention to them. They're just sort of the background. But then by the end, you realize they've been there all along.
All along, yeah.
She's invisible. So they don't understand that like clearly you're cheating on your husband with this doctor. But since it's just little old me, you don't even pay attention. But again, you've sold your soul to do this, and now you're destroying your relationship with your mother and your friend and your family. But I need to see the destruction of that. Like you have to actually stick to it. And by the end, like, you don't get to come home. You don't get to go to the wonderful birthday party and this, that, and the other. So, it's a shame. It's funny we were talking about Master, because I think I'm going to land the exact same way, where I want to see more from this director.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, I want to see more from her, and I want to see bigger things from her.
Absolutely. I mean, because for all of that is missing from it, it's a smart movie. You know, so you definitely want to see more from her. She's actually she's directed episodes, quite a few episodes of television.
Sally Kirkland in any of her episodes that she directs?
No, she didn't get cast in Mixed-ish. And she didn't make it to the final cut of Aquafina is Nora from Queens.
Okay, all right.
But Sally Kirkland, who knows? She may turn up in season 2 of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Valia directed some episodes of that.
Oh, get that Marvel money.
Get that Marvel money.
Get that Marvel money.
Mad at you for eating at the Marvel Cafe.
Get that Disney money.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Because that check clears.
That check does clear.
You don't have to post date that check. That's a joke for our older missionaries. Young people are like, post date? What is that?
They're like check.
What is a check? Check. When's the last time you wrote a check?
A check.
When's the last time you wrote a check?
Oh, wow.
When's the last time you wrote a check?
It has been.
Made you feel like your mom writing a check.
You know what? Shit. I think the last check I wrote was going on 6 years ago. Because I think, and I could be wrong, but I think I had to write no, I didn't. I was going to say I had to write a check for my apartment when I moved in.
Okay,
but that was a money order.
You still have a checkbook? Like, do you still own a checkbook?
No.
You don't even have a checkbook?
No.
You know when you couldn't float checks anymore? Checks had no more use for me. Like, remember, like you could, before, do you remember the moment when you couldn't float a check anymore? Like, you would give somebody a check and they'd run it through. It's like, oh, the game done changed.
That's true. That's true.
The game done changed.
Oh, yeah. Y'all don't know.
Y'all don't know.
Y'all don't know. Man, shoot,
I was a check floating engineer. Like, I knew how to float a check.
Man, look, that's how a lot of people ate, man.
Look, man.
They go food shop. Well, I have to write you a check.
I'm gonna write you a check.
Oh my God. Woo! You took me to the way back.
Hey, man.
Yeah, when's the last time you wrote a check?
Our plumber likes checks.
Okay.
You know, I think he kind of does his own his own books, and he likes checks.
What is he, 80?
He's not 80, but he's not young.
Apparently.
Yeah, he's not 80, but he's not young.
You know, young buck.
Yeah, but he likes checks.
Obviously, no, because my plumber,
right,
it's like Venmo or Cash App.
Yeah, not my plumber. Having said that, that is something else that I thought this film did well, but I wish they could have sharpened it. The fact that, you know, Ray is really part of, you know, is the working poor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so much of her life and her mother's life and Kara Young's life revolves
around their job,
around getting another shift, and
Yep.
how much this costs, and the financial implications of this move, and this, that, and the other. And I thought that was really subtly done.
I did too.
Like,
I did too.
like you and I just had a check conversation. You can always tell when people have actually lived. And I got the sense that this film is based on the experiences.
Oh yeah, and she says that
of someone
of Anu Valia.
Like this is someone who look.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a trust fund kid. I'm not a, like, I have lived. So.
You kind of hinted at this a little bit, and we say this again. We're repeating ourselves. I could have stayed in that van with Kara Young.
Oh my goodness.
Tina Lifford and Kirby Howell-Baptiste as they just drove around after her car broke down. I could have been in that van for the total hour and 20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And one, because that would have just given us that much more Kara Young.
Yeah.
You know, Kara Young, if you don't know, one of the brightest stars on Broadway. Hey,
Just won a Tony.
just won a Tony. I'm actually going to have the opportunity to meet her this coming Monday.
Really?
Yeah, the African American Film Critics Association goes to Broadway. It's their 4th annual event, and it's going to be held in New York at Del Frisco's on this coming Monday. And Carrie Young is going to be one of the stars from Broadway that will be there at the event. And
Trying to get her on the show.
well, I have to meet her first.
Okay, all right.
But if I trust me, I will put in a bid.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
We are huge Carrie Young
Yes,
fans
we
here.
are.
Huge Carrie Young fans. But that being said, would you recommend that people watch We Strangers?
Well, for something that my main critique is that it could have been sharper, and certainly some of the tightening of it, frankly, I think could have come with a little extra time. Like take some time to breathe, because it's only 120 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, an hour and 20 minutes, including the credits. So it's a very short film. The irony is that while that's my great critique, that is ultimately why I'm going to end up recommending it, because it's only an hour and 20 minutes. And there's certainly enough good in here to justify that hour and 20 minutes. So I do recommend it, but more, what I actually recommend more is keeping an eye on so many of the participants in this film.
Absolutely.
The director, the cinematographer.
The cinematographer, Charlotte Hornsby.
Charlotte Hornsby. The actors. Again, we talked about Carol Young, Kirby Howell-Baptiste. Like I said, I was a fan of the 2 women who played the white
women.
Yeah, I thought they did. I thought
Sarah Goldberg and Maria Dezia.
Sure, I'll be looking out for them. So yeah, I am going to land on recommending it.
I think that I will too, for that same reason. It's 88 minutes. That's it. To hang out with Kirby Howell-Baptiste, who does very good work in this film. Excellent work. Tina Leifert, Cara Young, the cast themselves, they're doing well. I don't think everything gels together as much as it could, but it's a good-looking film. It's a smart film. It's does have something that it's trying to say, and who, like you said, it may be too smart for us.
Hey, look.
So I would recommend We Strangers. Now, it's not a horror movie.
It's not a horror movie.
It is not a horror movie.
It's not scary.
So don't go saying, you're going to make your Halloween movie checklist and put We Strangers on it. It's not a movie for Halloween.
If you look at the trailer,
okay,
you would think it was something else going on. I mean, is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay.
However,
I mean, I hadn't seen it.
I'm not knocking you.
Okay.
But at this point, we have seen it.
Okay.
And don't put it on your Halloween checklist.
Right. It's not Halloween. All right.